I tell you all the time, I'm not always a good person, and I'm okay with that. The highlight of the entire damn weekend for me was seeing the Nazi, what's his name? Richard Spencer. Seeing him get mollywopped by, I believe it was an anarchist. I don't know what they officially call themselves, but it was beautiful. And shout out to Noah Changa and Michael Solomon, who were right there at the time. And it was funny because they came back and they were upset. They were troubled. They were like, this is ridiculous. Why would these rioters, why would these anarchists just go up to a Trump supporter and just hit him? Because they were sitting there like, why do they do that? It's just, because, we're good human beings. They didn't know that it was Richard Spencer. So we're sitting at dinner with some other friends from D.C., and the video finally got around of Richard Spencer getting his head bust by this anarchist, I guess, whatever they call themselves. And all of a sudden, our dismay turned into elation. I'm sorry. I know we should be bigger than that. I'm not always going to be bigger than that. I'll tell you that now, because, I'm not going into any justifications of the use of violence, whatever. But I do get joy out of people whose ideology is pure hatred and would use violence against humanity. I enjoy seeing them embarrassed, if nothing else, before the entire world. See, there are dregs of society who should not be so cavalier about the bullshit that they believe. I'm sorry. Yes, it's a free society. You can believe whatever you want to. Come in the public square and say what you want to. But I have no qualm with some people feeling as though their ideology is so repugnant to society that maybe, just maybe, they should keep that racist, hateful, anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ, anti-foreigner, all this evil shit that they represent. Maybe they should just keep that shit at home. Maybe it's in their best interests, right? Now, I don't condone violence. But I will press rewind, Richard, and watch that shit every time I get a chance. Because that, my friend, was an ass whipping real quick, fast, in a hurry. I'm sorry. I probably lost 100 followers. I probably lost 100 listeners. But I'm sorry. If you hear this dude's ideology, you hear what he represents and you hear what he stands for. I mean, he got hit so hard. He got hit so hard that last night on Twitter, he came back saying, I'm not what, he called himself quoting Nelson Mandela and said, I'm not what happened to me. I am what I choose to be. I mean, it's something. It's got to be a hell of a ass whipping for you to go from saying, seek hell, to saying positive affirmations, Richard. Oh, man. Next thing in your agenda would be for you to, just go ahead and fully convert, become a social justice warrior for all that matter. All right. Let me, I'm sorry. But that was, it was, and don't pretend like you don't ever watch a fight video when it comes through your timeline. I just don't normally share it. But when it is a Nazi, a self-avowed Nazi, getting the ass whipping, I think that's worth the retweet, right? I mean, who tweeted? Somebody else tweeted this. This was not mine. I mean, you got Indiana Jones, who famously not only beat some Nazis, but just like beat the shit out of one particular Nazi. Just a classic image of Indiana Jones. And then you have Captain America in the same frame coming through and knocking the hell out of a Nazi. And then you have some anonymous guy knocking the hell out of a modern day Nazi, a dapper Nazi, but still a Nazi, So the quote around it was, beating the ass of a Nazi is as American as American pie. But again, I want to make it clear. I personally do not condone violence, but I will. If it's a Nazi, I mean, and here's the other thing. Let's go one step further with this conversation. Hell, I'd have lost, whoever, you leave, be disappointed. I get it. I got it. Everybody's not as callous as me. This is me, Sarah Silvermann puts out a series of tweets calling Richard Spencer, who believes in white genocide, believes in segregation of the races, separation of the races, who fully believes that whites are superior to everyone else. I mean, all our Aryan nation white supremacists. She puts out a tweet saying, Sarah Silvermann, the Democratic actress, right? She puts out a series of tweets calling Richard Spencer, who's like 38 years old, calling him a young and confused man who now, instead of being willing to hear our ideas, is going to retreat into his own hatred and bigotry because somebody punched him. Richard Spencer, if he had his way, just you finish the sentence, right? I don't have to be hyperbolic. You finish the sentence. What do these neo-Nazis want? And they would accomplish it using force. But besides that, this is a 38-year-old man who is making bank off of his racist, anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ ideology, and you refer to him as a young man who's lost? As though he stumbled into Nazism? That's not some shit you just stumble into, right? It's not as though you open up a book, Mein Kampf, and say, I wonder how this story ends. And then at the end, you're converted into a Nazi. What the? So if you want to condone violence, that's fine. I don't condone. I condemn violence. Condemn it. It's horrible. We were very upset about what we saw, especially when we thought it happened to an innocent Trump supporter. But it got a little more palatable once we realized it was one of the most hate-filled people in the world, in the United States at a minimum. I guess I can't compare him to Kim Jong-un. But anyway.